Before he was a scaly green juggernaut with a face only a gamma reactor could love, Emil Blonsky was a Croatian-born KGB agent with a flair for espionage and a resume that screamed Cold War overachiever. Born in Zagreb back when it was part of Yugoslavia, Blonsky was a loyal operative of the Soviet Union. Blonsky's mission was to infiltrate a U.S. airbase in New Mexico. It was the same one where Dr. Bruce Banner was busy brooding and building gamma-powered death machines. Blonsky's orders were to gather intel and sabotage any American nuclear projects. While snooping around Banner's lab, Blonsky stumbled upon a gamma radiation emitter. It was the very machine Banner had designed to end his own life. Banner was dragged away by security before he could use it, leaving Blonsky alone with a glowing green do not touch button. Naturally, he touched it. Blonsky not only activated it, he cranked the gamma dial past 11. He bathed himself in a dose far more intense than what created the Hulk. The result, a transformation that turned him into a permanently mutated powerhouse stronger than the Hulk, or at least his base form. However, unlike Banner, Blonsky retained his full intelligence in his monstrous form. Unfortunately, he also retained his arrogance, bitterness, and Soviet-sized chip on his shoulder. Once transformed, Blonsky wasted no time making a name for himself. Literally. He kidnapped Betty Ross, beat the Hulk within an inch of his green life, and declared himself the Abomination. But his victory lap was short-lived. The Hulk bounced back, and with a little gamma science from Banner, he managed to weaken Abomination enough just to pummel him into submission. Enter the Stranger. What a name, my guy. A cosmic being who decided that Earthlings were too reckless with nukes. He yoinked Abomination off-world to serve as a lab rat on his interstellar science fair project. Before returning to Earth, Blonsky's career actually took an even stranger turn. He became a space pirate. More specifically, a first mate aboard an alien vessel hunting a cosmic beast by the name of Klaatu. Naturally, the Hulk also got dragged into this, and the two Gamma Titans brawled their way back to Earth, crash landing separately like the world's angriest meteor shower. After waking from a 2-year coma, Blonsky joined forces with General Ross in a plot to bring down the Hulk. As motivation, Ross had a bomb surgically implanted in his skull, but in true Abomination fashion, Blonsky betrayed Ross and attempted to ransom the Kennedy Space Center. The Hulk responded by strapping Blonsky to a rocket and launching him into orbit like yesterday's trash. Blonsky was later found frozen in orbit and revived by MODOK. This guy will not stop showing up in my Marvel videos. He's been in all but one of them, and he's showing up so often I am genuinely concerned I may have to make him my channel mascot. MODOK wanted to use Abomination as a pawn against AIM. Unfortunately, Blonsky had developed a crippling fear of the Hulk, so MODOK had to brainwash him into fighting. Unfortunately, it didn't work. Hulk saved the day, and MODOK disintegrated Abomination in a fit of villainous frustration. Naturally, death didn't stick. Tyrannus, an immortal Roman sorcerer, because, you know, Marvel, reconstituted Blonsky's atoms and hijacked his body. After a psychic tug of war, Blonsky regained control, only to be driven insane, stalk his ex-wife Nadia, and get set on fire by She-Hulk. Eventually, he even mellowed out a bit. He became a sewer-dwelling protector of the homeless. He even tried to live a quiet life, until he killed Betty Banner. Eventually, after learning Bruce Banner had married Betty, Blonsky, already consumed by jealousy and bitterness, decided that if he couldn't have happiness, neither could Banner. He used his own gamma-irradiated blood to contaminate Betty, knowing full well that her body could not withstand the radiation. The exposure caused her to fall gravely ill, and for a time, everyone believed that she had died from gamma sickness. After Betty succumbed to her radiation poisoning, Bruce Banner was shattered. He blamed himself, believing his own gamma-tainted biology had doomed the woman he loved. Meanwhile, Blonsky didn't exactly throw himself a remorse party. Instead, he slithered into the shadows, haunted by what he had done, but too proud to admit it. And for a long time, the story ended there, until they retconned it. 10 years later, Blonsky's crimes came to light, and the revelation was devastating. Not only had he murdered Betty, he had done it in a way that made Bruce Banner believe he was the killer. That's not just villainy, it's psychological warfare. Then came the twist. Betty wasn't dead. She was resurrected by a guy named the Leader, and God damn it, it's MODOK again! MODOK, I get it. You have your own video coming way down the line. Just wait a little while longer, okay? Just stop photobombing all my videos. Oh god, sorry, I lost my train of thought. Where was I? Oh yeah. Betty was transformed into Red She-Hulk, a gamma-powered force of vengeance with a serious grudge, and guess who was on her hit list? As you may have well guessed, Blonsky's days were numbered. When he resurfaced, he was hunted by both Banner and Betty. Eventually, he was assassinated by the Red Hulk, or, you know, Betty's dad, Thunderbolt. Ross used a special weapon that overloaded Blonsky's gamma energy, killing him in a brutal, fiery showdown. But of course, death is more like just a coffee break in the Marvel Universe. Blonsky was later resurrected by mysterious forces, mutated further, and used as a pawn in various shady government projects. But the shadow of Betty's death and his role in it never really left him. It became the defining stain on his legacy, the moment where he stopped being just a monster and he became a true abomination. Abomination stands as one of Marvel's most enduring cautionary figures, a man who sought power not to protect or uplift, but to dominate and destroy. His transformation into a gamma-fueled monster was no accident. It was a deliberate act of envy and ambition. Unlike Bruce Banner, who was cursed by circumstance, Blonsky chose his fate, believing strength alone would make him superior. But what he gained in muscle, he lost in humanity. His story is a slow unraveling of a man consumed by bitterness, whose every attempt at control only deepened his isolation and monstrosity. Abomination's legacy isn't just defined by his physical battles with the Hulk, but by the emotional wreckage he leaves behind. Poisoning Betty Ross wasn't just an act of villainy, it was a deeply personal betrayal that weaponized love and trust. His repeated resurrections, betrayals, and breakdowns show a man who can't escape the consequences of his own choices. Even when given chances to change, Blonsky often reverts to manipulation and violence, making him a tragic figure rather than a redemptive one. He is the embodiment of what happens when intellect is twisted by ego and strength is wielded without conscience. Abomination is more than a monster. He's a mirror. He reflects the darkest impulses of humanity: jealousy, vengeance, and the refusal to take responsibility. His story warns us that true strength lies not in brute force, but in restraint, empathy, and the courage to face our failures. In a universe filled with gods, geniuses, and cosmic threats, Blonsky stands as a harsh reminder. The most dangerous villains aren't those blinded by power, but those who gaze into the mirror and see only what they want to be, and never the abomination they've truly become.